Morning, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. My name is Barry. I'm the sales director at DbM. I'm going to run you through the offerings that we have from our portfolio of products. You can see the brands listed there. Yeah, without further ado, I'll crack on with the presentation. So you may have seen back in ISE in February, which seems a long time ago now, we launched our partnership with the guys at Waterfall Audio. So Waterfall are based over in the south of France. And they have an amazing balance of engineering and also aesthetics with their product range. So we'll talk about the first product in the range, which is their Stereo. It's the most compact of the speakers in their range. I actually have a pair on my desk at the moment in the office, which is perfect for, well, I guess, webinars, Zoom chats, but also listening to music and watching YouTube videos and so on. So really compact, black or white finish. You can see that signature of the glass around the outside of the speaker as well, and it's an aluminium chassis. So this is perfect for simple on-wall systems, 2.1 systems either side of a TV, or 5.1 systems, 7.1 systems, etc. So you can use these easily in surround applications. You probably notice and I'm using it here, we recommend partnering this with the 251, which is our powered zone controller, which has crossovers in there as well. So that allows you to, when you are using this product with the matching HFM 200 subwoofer, you can just punch in the 180 Hertz crossover and you have perfect integration between the woofer, which we'll go into more detail about later, and the speaker itself. As I said, Waterfall are an engineering-based company, so when they talk about the products, they'll also talk about the room sizes that they're recommended to use in, and that's based on the SPL level that the products can produce as well. So in this instance, around 15 to 30 square meter room size. So most typical UK homes, that's going to be a good application. So again, we talked about it before, stereo applications, so 2.1 stereo applications is a good option, or into the surround applications. So this could be used as a surround channel in some of the larger systems, or it can be used for all the channels all the way around in the smaller systems. Really affordable, so that's the retail expat pricing in the bottom, and you can see it's got these rubberized feet which it ships with, but you also have a wall mount bracket which is in the box with that product as well. So moving on, there's basically three models in each range from Waterfall. So you have small, medium and large. That follows through the on-wall and on-shelf type products like the Stereo and the Hurricane, and also into their floor standing range. So this is the next model up. This has a separate mid-bass and bass driver and a tweeter. Being larger, you've got more SPL. You can use a lower crossover frequency as well. Again, the efficiency of the loudspeaker is a great match for the 251 amplifier, so you can get really great SPL from this, but also with nice fidelity and accuracy. As you can see, we use a slightly different crossover with the Hurricanes. Again, still use them as 2.1 either side of a TV in either the white or black finishes. They also do a in-wall version, which is less than 75mm deep. So you can get a really slim sealed box enclosure version of the Hurricane as well, which is great for Atmos channels or also surround channels in dedicated theatres. You get a surprising amount of SPL from this speaker with the demos we've done in our DbM lounge in Huntingdon. People have been blown away by the clarity, but also just the sheer output of these things. They really do punch way above their size. Hence, what looks like quite a large room size is totally achievable with the Hurricane. So again, you can have the option of bookshelf mounting them with these bookshelf stands, or you can mount them on the wall as well. So very, very simple. They have integrated cable management built into the back of the speaker as well. Again, price point's very keen. It's effectively a doubling on price of the Stereo, and you can mix and match Hurricane with Stereo, so you can have Hurricane LCR Stereo surround channels. We recommend using the larger subwoofer, which is the HFT 250S. Because the speakers have higher SPL, it's good to have a subwoofer that matches that output and that headroom as well. And then the flagship on the on-wall range is the Aurora Evo. These are probably my favourite, probably because they're the biggest. So you end up with a separate bass driver, mid bass, and with the same tweeter. because these have huge SPL, as in make people laugh when they hear how much output they had. We had these on demo at ISE in a huge open space, and just running off a 251, hilarious output without distortion, with real clarity. So the Aurora is a real high performance on-wall loudspeaker, great for retros when you're swapping out existing systems with passive speakers, and they just look stunning. You know, you have this massive billet of aluminium with the drive units built into it, which also is a heatsink for the mid-range driver and the bass driver, and then you have this toughened glass on the outside, so they really do fit in nicely to the interiors, and very, very good and easy to blend in. Again, white and black grille finishes, much larger room sizes. You can use that lower crossover as well, and again, because you've got more SPL output, whilst you can partner with the HF2 sub, the HF3 is a good option because you do have two of those bass drivers. And again, there's a matching center channel available if you wanted to do a horizontally mounted center channel below the screen. So yeah, that's the range of on-wall loudspeakers from Waterfall. And then we talked about the subwoofers. So these are the matching subs. There's three subs in the range which are in-room. They also have an in-wall sub which will be launching shortly. So we have the most compact one, which is the HFM2, which is what I'm using here. So 180mm woofer, used in pretty much most living room sizes, 15 to 30 square meters. Can use two if you want to give your client a bit more bottom end. Most customers are never say no to too much or to additional bottom end or low frequency reinforcement. We move up to the HF2, that uses a 40mm ultra long throw 230mm woofer. This is kind of the sweet spot in terms of value for money and also footprint size. Huge output, ridiculously low bass, very attractive price point. Ideally, even in sort of the medium to large room sizes. So this has been a popular model for us just because of its sheer output versus the compact footprint. If you want to go really big though, you go for the HF3, where you double up on the woofers. Waterfall puts more power into it with a more powerful power amplifier as well. And this really does shift some serious air. So in those larger room sizes, this is going to have some thunderous bottom end. So that's the subwoofer range. Very simple and straightforward, very easy to integrate. They do have crossovers built into them. If you aren't using a 251, we'd recommend just using the 251 for crossovers. It's very simple. So that's the three on-wall speakers and also the three in-room subwoofers. We'll move on to perhaps the speakers they're most famous for, which is the first in the range is the Agrasso, which is a full glass construction. You have a cast aluminium base with a downward firing ABR driver in the bottom there as well. Beautiful integrated cable management, which just runs up and around the woofer as well. These are constructed with safety glass, so they are very sturdy and very durable. And they basically just disappear into interiors because they're see-through. You pretty much see a floating bass driver and a tweeter in most applications. So this has been great. We have these in our reception area, so people that have been up to the factory to come and see us and have a look at the DbM lounge just can't believe how amazing they look, especially when the sunlight pours through the windows that we have. So again, this is a full range design, so you can use this without a subwoofer. You can of course add a subwoofer. We've talked about that range. You'd probably want to use the HF2 or above for the floor standing ranges to really give you that additional bass augmentation. But they are tunable, so they have a mass disc which goes on the bottom of the ABR that allows you to tune the bass frequency. And again, being an engineering-based company, you also get the bass roll-off plot for each of those different mass weights that you have on there. They're pretty efficient. Again, you can use a 251 to power this without any issues at all. You can put a bigger power amp on if you want more output, something like a G57, but the 251 matches well from a price perspective. So you can use these as music loudspeakers, so stereo systems on their own, or they can form part of a surround system as well. Very simple. You could integrate a Aurora, for example, as the center channel to match that range. So moving up, we've got the Victoria. So you can see we end up with mid bass and bass driver, so you can probably guess larger form factor, lower frequency response is extended, mid-range clarity is improved. You do have more power handling with the Victorias, so something like a G57 with a bit more power output is really going to control the speaker nicely and give you that nice room-filling sound that you'd expect. The cool thing is that you are going up in sizes of loudspeaker. It still is very compact. It kind of doesn't matter because you don't really see a whole lot of the cabinet. You lose any of that visual bulk that you get with traditional non-glass loudspeakers. So it's one of those things where you can get away with much larger loudspeakers in a living room environment without having that visual impact. So this has been a cool offering for us where people can see how they can basically have a very discreet but beautiful sounding loudspeaker. Again, because we've gone up in size, the room size recommendations also increase. So you can use these in larger spaces. You know, if you are building media rooms in or basically putting a surround system in a living room, this is a great way to do it. Benefit is you've got that full range bass performance from the loudspeaker itself. So yeah, that's the Victoria, and then we move on to the flagship, which is the Niagara. So this is the biggest speaker in the range. You can probably tell it's a really serious loudspeaker. We've got the horn-loaded glass tweeter on the top. That design gives really good high frequency spread into the room, so the listening angle is much broader. A really serious bass where all of the crossover components are housed in there as well. Super thick safety glass, really low bass for extension, and when you get up closer to it, you can see the Napa leather that surrounds the bass driver enclosure as well. It's a stunning loudspeaker. So that really is the flagship in the range, and as such we'd recommend partnering that with the 857, which is our biggest and beefiest power amplifier. So yeah, that is the flagship from the Waterfall range. And again, you know, because it's larger, you've got more power output, you've got more sensitivity, you've got more power handling, the room size increases once again. So this could be the flagship reference 2-channel system, or it could be the front end of a pretty immense in-room theatre. We also have the Pro Custom series from Waterfall. So this is their dedicated theatre range. It's been specifically developed for high performance screening rooms. Again, guess what? There's 3 models in the range. They all targeted to have high SPL and super low distortion, which is what you're looking for within this type of product range. The really cool thing is they're all 200 millimeters deep, so they're designed to be built into a baffle wall. But rather than leave that baffle wall up to chance or guesswork, the guys at Waterfall have created an engineered solution, which means that they can supply the entire baffle wall. So your LCR channels, whether it's the LCR 300 or the LCR 500s, are built into a complete baffle wall. So all of the energy from the loudspeakers is driven into the room. And that really speaks about the engineering integrity of Waterfall, but also the fact that they want to ensure that the speakers are performing at their best. And part of that is that they have a complimentary design service where we send the room designs across, and then we get back a beautifully detailed system that says this is the performance figures that we're going to hit with this range of loudspeakers. So nothing's left up to chance. You know that you're going to get an amazing sounding theatre because it's been designed in collaboration with the manufacturer. So we've got a few of these on quote at the moment. I'm really excited to see the first ones being delivered. The sub that's in the Pro Custom Series range is absolutely hilarious as well. Again, if you got a chance to see that on demo at ISE, you'll know exactly what I mean. We're in a huge room that's probably 15 meters tall and maybe 100 meters deep, and you could pretty much hear it from anywhere within that space. So yeah, with the Pro Custom Series, that is a case of on application. So please do get in touch with us, and we'll work with you to get a design pulled together, and then we'll run you through that and show you how that 1 gets sold and then 2 gets installed and calibrated afterwards. To move on to Barco Residential, there's a couple new models that have been added to the range. You might well be familiar with the Bragi, which was released last year, which is the 2.37 version. Well, after popular demand from you guys, Barco have created a 1.78 ratio version. So it's a full UHD projector, so 3840 by 2160 resolution. The unique thing with Bragi is that it uses this RGB LED light engine. Now, the key thing here is this DCI P3 color space. Now, we always talk about HDR as having great contrast, you know, high brightness and good black level detail, but actually the bit that's often missed is the color space. DCI P3 is a game changer. It's on UHD Blu-rays, and it's also on Netflix, etc., and also the latest games consoles as well. So being able to replicate that full color palette is a huge benefit, and it's a real unique selling point for the Bragi as well. Bragi in 1.78 ratio has a boost in light outputs. It's 2600 lumens, so around 3.3 meter 1.78 ratio screens. The LED light source has another couple of benefits. One is obviously the LED life is huge. I think it's around 50,000 hours, so it really is basically a fit and forget solution. But that boosted enhanced color palette means that we actually would say with our eyes that it's about 30% brighter than a 2600 lumen rated output. So that's a real change in terms of what you might expect to see. As with all of the Barco Residential projectors, you've got a huge range of lens options. The standard lens is a really useful throw range that works in most UK sized theatres, but you do have all the way down to 0.3 to 1, which is crazy short throw, and then all the way out to 4.6 as well. So if you need those long throw applications, you're covered too. The other benefit with Bragi is that you have very low noise, and it's actually very compact for a projector that has A, that light output, and B, that color accuracy and fidelity. So that's a huge benefit with the LED light engine, that really low noise operating. So if you combine the two things, where the screen size and also the size and the dB level of the projector, this is ideal for UK living rooms. Bragi is also available, as I said, as a native 2.37 option. So that is a 5K res projector. So you have those both options now in the range. Aggressive price point as well versus the specification. Again, if you get in touch, if you've got any projects that you're working on, we can work out the throw ratios for you, make sure you've got the right lens for your installation, and we can also talk you through and demonstrate this. It's on demonstration in our in the DbM lounge. Other end of the extreme is we've got the Madea. So this was launched about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. This is a laser light engine which hits the Rec 709 color standard, which is, yes, below the Bragi, but they trade that color accuracy for just absolutely sheer lumen output. So 6500 ANSI lumen makes this perfect for living room applications. You basically have two ways of doing this. One is you can use large screens in a dedicated theatre where you're on a budget. So you might want to be able to use something like a Loki, but if the client's budget is more like something of a Madea, I say that it's a really aggressively price projector, you can fill those larger screens. Ideal use case for this is to be used in living room environments where you really need a lot of light output because you're combating the light that's in the room. Again, get in touch with us, we can run you through. There's a lot of lens options available for the Madea, so it's a good seller for us. And then we have at the other end is the absolute beast that is the Njord. So this is a new 3-chip and RGB laser projection system. So that gets us that the two things really, 12,000 lumens, which is super bright, and also 100% of DCI P3 color space. So that gives us the color accuracy that we're after as well. So this is an absolute beast of a projector. It's kind of upper mid-range in the Barco range of things. So whilst we talk about this being a monster of a projector, there are still levels to go above this. So if you are serious about projection, we can help elevate your sales into getting these types of projectors into projects. It's not scary, it is straightforward. It's all done on maths. You know, if you're moving into the larger screen sizes, you're going to need higher light output projectors. The RGB laser means we actually have a red, green and blue laser as opposed to the phosphor lasers, and that's what's giving us this enhanced color space. So no color wheel in this chassis as well. You can probably tell he's a big boy, but you still have that huge flexibility with the multiple lens options. So you will have a lot of flexibility with the installation. Again, get in touch with us. It's straightforward. It's what we do all of the time. You're probably not specifying projectors like these on a weekly basis. We are. So do lean on our support, and our design service will help you work your way through the range and get a product that's right for you. So we've got audio, we have the video. We now need a way of getting that video onto the screen. So we've been working with Display Technologies for a couple of years now. There's a couple of really cool projects which have been utilizing these products, and the MMD, or motorized mirror drop, got recently upgraded to V2 specification. What that gives us is the ability to use these much smaller throw ratio numbers, so all the way down to 1.3 times screen width, which is really useful. So what is it? What does it do? Well, it's super cool. So instead of dropping the whole projector into the room, which typically is going to create noise and also a large visual presence in the room, we leave the projector up here in the casing. We fire first from the first mirror and then to the second mirror and then onto the screen. These two mirrors are high performance optical mirrors, so we're losing absolutely tiny amounts of light, less than 3% in most cases. They have some other benefits. You add about 440 mil to the light path, so that does extend. It's like having the projector further away from the screen, and so that might help us to use the standard lenses on the projectors, which obviously then reduces the cost of the projection system as well. You do have a lot of vertical offset. If you do have a lot of vertical offset, then you may need to use things like Barco's warp engine, which allows us to manipulate the image within the cropped pixel area, so we get no latency or delay issues. We just end up with a perfectly square image. Again, we have that on demonstration, so we can show you that we're not just saying that it does do that and then you end up with issues. It really is invisible to the eye when you are using any of the warp engine. But these have been super popular because you can put a projector that might be 40 or 45 dB up in the ceiling space, and that noise then is removed from the room, which makes a huge difference to the operating noise, especially if you're using a larger projector. You can have it adapted to use with the extraction systems. DT do have a range of extraction systems that pull that heat out. In most cases, if it's in the ceiling void, you've got a lot of space up there. That's an ideal scenario. I would say it's very cost effective versus a very large projection lift that you might end up using, and it's a much more elegant solution. We've pulled together a couple of other images just to help you see what it looks like. So obviously this was at ISE earlier in the year. You can see the projector. It isn't supplied with glass. This bit's solid because you generally don't want to see the projector. Remember, we said before that with laser and LED, 20 to 50,000 hour runtime, you don't need access to these things. So projector lives up in the ceiling, and then just this mirror flap drops down, and then the image is reflected onto the screen. So it's a real simple, elegant design. You can see here there's plenty of space for the projector to live in. They do a larger version of the MMD for very large projectors. The vast majority will fit in the standard V2. Super cool way of getting a projection system concealed into a project. Yeah, again, get in touch. We can help you get these specified in, make sure we've calculated the extra throw distance that it adds and so on, and make sure we have enough vertical offset in the system as well. More simple but really elegant solution as well as the side mirror mount. It uses a mirror again. You can see we like using mirrors. The really cool thing is that this allows you to put the projector through 90 degrees, and the reason that's useful is on high power laser projectors you have what's called a laser hazard zone. So if you're using something like Prometheus 3, which is a high power DCI laser projector, you need to get the projector far enough away from the viewers in the room, and one way of doing that is by turning the projector through 90 degrees inside the projection booth and then firing off the mirror and then into the room. And this was a difference. This product was a difference between the client being able to have Prometheus 3 and not. And in the system that was going into that room, it was really important that he had the option of doing that, because it was the perfect projector for that installation. So the side mirror mount is a really cool addition. Very simple, very easy to set up, but very flexible in terms of the installation, and really just opens up projects significantly, especially if you are using those high power lasers. And it's part of a range of mirror solutions. They have vertical mirror mounts as well. Again, we have that on demonstration at the DbM lounge, so you can see how easy and how cool that is as a solution. And it really takes the guesswork out of using mirrors on projection systems, which I know can be scary if you've not done them before. So again, it's dead simple. You have the adjustment of the mirror to make sure you can line that up onto the screen. You can also adjust the feet at the bottom to make sure it's square, because we all know that the drawings are always square and the rooms often aren't. So that gives you the flexibility to run that through. Again, you know, if you're working on a system and you think that's cool, I could do one of those on my system, get in touch. It's very easy for us to show you how those go together. And then finally, we're going to talk about the entry level masking option. So it's quite common for us to see screens specified with either a pair of lateral masks or a pair of top and bottom masks. But obviously, when you've got 2 lots of rollers, 2 lots of masks, and motors into a system, the screen price does bump up. And that can make it prohibitive to use it in some projects, just where the budget isn't there to afford that. And masking's cool, like you should be putting that into systems where you can. So DT developed the Mask 1, and the Mask 1 is a simple way of having masking support for both 1.78 and 2.37, which are the 2 most popular screen ratios that you have. So it's really simple. You've got a super quiet mask motor. The mask drops down to hide the black bars on the top and bottom of 2.37 content, and then opens up when you want to view 1.78 content. So it's really simple, very easy control. Comes with those 2 defined positions already set into the controller for that. And like I said before, super quiet motor system in there as well, and it makes it more aggressively priced. It's significantly more affordable than a 2 mask system. So if you really want to offer that client the anamorphic experience, but budget is going to be a constraint, then the Mask 1 is a great option. Acoustically transparent or solid screens available. The acoustic transparent screens are absolutely awesome. The level of audio loss you get through them is minuscule. So we, as an audio company, and obviously working with both Meridian and Waterfall Audio, that's really key for us. And as a video supplier, you know, we need to make sure that we're not seeing grain or otherwise, and we get correct color accuracy. So the materials that DT have are perfect for that as well. So we've done the audio, we've done the video. We've worked out how we can get our amazingly projected image onto a screen. Now we look at the acoustic treatment. So this is often scary for people. What do? You know, we don't want to fill the room up with rock walls, so we work with complete acoustic treatment systems, or CATs. You can see here, this is an example of one of the designs that we pulled together. It shows the primary reflection points of the audio from all of the channels. So we map out where the audio is going to be hitting, and then we work on the 3 R's of acoustics, which is resonance, reverberation, reflection. So what we're doing is we're using the CAT panels to create a 4-stage system. So we do side walls first, then front wall, then back wall, then ceiling. There are 3 panels where we have the reflection panels. So these are designed to break up the energy and scatter that into the room. They're 300 by 300 mil square. You just bolt them straight onto the wall. You get a pack of 16 of those, and we'll show you where those should be used. And then you have the reverberation, which take out any of the extra energy that you don't want in the room. There's 2 versions, a 12 mil and a 50 mil version. 50 mil one has more absorption. That's what we typically use. So these are designed to take out some of the energy that you have in the room. And then finally, we have the resonance control panel. So these larger panels are designed to take out some of the unwanted base energy that you might have in the room as well. All designed and built in the UK, all specified through our design service. Very cost-effective way of treating a room. And I think that is us done. Here's a picture of our beautiful DbM lounge. You can see the Aurora Evos either side. Yeah, feel free to get in touch. We'd love to show you around. We're open for demonstrations. Yeah, just drop me a line, and I'll be very happy to meet you there and show you how awesome these products are and how they all come together. That room was designed using our design service, so you'll be able to see we put our money where our mouth is and show that the design service does back up the claims of the brands that we work with, because it is, you know, important to have engineering to match the aesthetics and also the performance of the products. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. There will be a video of this, so you can catch up with it later if you joined late, and do get in touch if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to walk you through those, and look forward to working with you on some projects in the future. Thanks.